Hey guys, how are you? Oh, I forgot to put on my wireless microphone, so I had to pick on the other one for the moment. We're going to be double mic'd at the moment. Let's see here. Pop that on. There we go. Let's get rid of the other one. Okay, we're back. How's everybody doing? So, I don't know what happened last night, but I was live and it took me to this, I don't know, like funky YouTube or something. But it didn't even record on my channel, but everything was like in a foreign language for me. It was totally weird. So I'm trying to find it. I messaged YouTube and said, hey, what was this? But I came back on. Didn't even see you guys. I thought everybody had gone to sleep. All right, so we're going to finish up memorial marbles right now. Got a few of those I got to get done, that brown and orangey color. So it's going to be kind of a fun stream. Wow, what the hell was that? Got a green reflection. Hold on. There we go. That's weird. Yeah, it's everything kind of weird tonight. So we're going to be doing these colors tonight. We're going to make these these guys, the blue and orange and brown and light blue. So we got to do that. So first thing we're going to do is make the blue. Man, I am out of space here, guys. Let's go ahead and get it done. Yeah, it was totally weird last night. I'm sitting here chatting away and everything's coming across like in a foreign language. I didn't even recognize it. And then I just finally shut it down. I couldn't get on my normal stream. All right, here we go. I don't know if YouTube has like a separate channel or like a different foreign entity, but I thought YouTube was pretty universal. All right, so we're going to make the light blue real quick. We got to make that light blue color. This is going to be a very relaxed and chill stream tonight. You guys, if you have questions along the lines of questions about glass blowing or anything, don't be afraid to pop it in the chat so I can say hello to everybody and answer them, hopefully. Hi, Philip. How are you? Donna, what's up? Red Squeak, Dragonfly. All right, we're going to get this blue all built in here. I like this ice blue color, though. I'm going to add it into my full-time palette. Nobody makes a really good ice blue out there that has a sparkle. So this is definitely going in my palette. I just don't like making all this color. Oh. There we go. Getting a little wacky right there. All right, so I'll save this little string of blue for something later. We'll figure that out later. All right, let's add in the sparkle color, and then I got to add in the dark blue, I believe. And then we should have a pretty good color here. I'm going to have to pop in a blue holding rod in the drill. And there we go. How's everybody doing? You guys hanging in there on Happy Taco Tuesday? It's Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. I could do with a taco. I would totally go for a taco right now. All right, let's add in this. I'll see which one of these are longer. Which one is the long? Man, that's pretty close. They're both about the same. Crap. Pop this in the kiln. And we'll pop this one out. By the way, I did get the iris all together. Mother's Day with Mom was awesome, Smokey Dwarf. Yeah, I just went and saw her today, and she picked a winner out of the hat for the pendant. So she's doing good, though. But yeah, things are looking good. Things are looking up. We hope to get everything nailed down soon. Okay, let's get this added in. Yeah, so we're currently going to make a ice blue color. It's going to be a sparkle. Kind of like you've ever seen like Frank Sinatra's eyes, the Sinatra eyes, baby blue. Or I can't think, who else has famous blue eyes? Who has famous blue eyes other than Frank Sinatra? Who has like icy blue eyes? I can't think of that person right now. All right, let's add in this dark blue. Actually, you know what? I think I have to use clear for this. I think I used clear last time because we added the dark blue. Paul Walker. Yes. Paul Walker had blue eyes. Elijah Wood. That's right. So yeah, we're trying to create that blue effect. We're trying to get that blue, that icy, icy blue. So it's a mixture of light blue, shimmer color, cobalt blue, and then we're going to use clear, and we're going to dilute it down a little bit. Yeah, I used clear last time. I did not use blue. This is the problem you run into when you have like 50 million color combos. All right, let's go ahead and mix this up. Then I got some remnants from last night's stream out here. We got some definite remnants out here. Anybody have anything fun today? Meg Foster? Oh yeah, Paul Newman. Yes. How did I forget Paul Newman? How did I forget Paul Newman? I don't even know how I did that. All right. We got to break this down. We're kind of mixing it up by hand real quick, and then we'll mix it in by the drill, and we'll get that amazing blue. Then we got to do a little bit of brown with the shimmer. And we'll start making those memorial marbles. I told her I would do some extra special ones for her. This is for that dog Bree that we did before. Beautiful dog. Had those baby blue eyes. That's why we're doing the blue and brown. And there we go. All right, so we're going to be taking this globule here, and we're going to be mixing it into an actual glass rod here. So we're going to take globule here, and we're going to turn it into a baby blue glass. That looks like a freaking alien. That looks like a freaky alien. I don't know why. I don't know, y'all. I'm in a weird mood tonight. I'm in a definite weird mood tonight, so buckle up. Not in a bad mood, just a weird mood. So buckle up. We're going to make a baby blue rod. I make a lot of custom colors out of my glass, especially for clients that have special requests. So I can make certain colors. I had the sample of it right around here somewhere. Crap. I had the initial sample around. All right, well, not a big deal. We're going to be making it anyway. So we use a drill to mix the colors. I've got 3 separate colors in here. We have a dark blue, a very light sky blue, and a shimmer color. Shimmer is kind of like a... How would you guys describe shimmer? It's not a sparkle. It's a shimmer. It's not glitter. What's a better way to say shimmer? Like, what's a better way of saying shimmer? Because it's not glitter. And there we go. And we're good. Oh, this is blending really smooth. Oh, dragonfly, that's awesome. I'll definitely do a, you know what? We'll do a tool review tomorrow. We'll do Dragonfly Creation tool review. Are you guys naming the business? I mean, do you have a business name, or are you just going by Dragonfly? Shimmery, shimmery, yeah. It does describe it. I always tell people it looks like the old Pert shampoo, but nobody knows what Pert is. Glimmer. Oh, I like glimmer. Yeah, glimmer works. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll do a tool review of Dragonfly's tools tomorrow. I'll do it online, and then you can reuse that content for your promotion. No, Macaulay works? Well, you just let me know how you want to do it, and I'll frame it that way tomorrow. We'll do Dragonfly's tool review tomorrow. All right, you guys, can you see it when I do that? Can you see it actually spinning? I always bring it out of the flame so you can see it, but I don't know if you guys can actually see it. 4,000 degree taffy. Iridescent. Oh, I like that. Sheen. Yeah, like that's where I don't know if you can see it when it's in that state. Ooh, I almost had a bad boo right there. That was almost a disaster. Oh boy. So what happened was I was spinning the glass with the drill, and I did not grip the left side, and it almost flew out of my hand. That would have made for some fun content for you guys, but not me. That wouldn't have been fun for me. All right, let's see if I got a good holding rod here. I'm going to have to use a longer one. I didn't want to. But I did end up putting the iris together today. I drilled all the fittings for the... Remember we did the greenery last night? The green leaves for it, but they aren't green. And I got this gorgeous acrylic base. It is huge, though. It is 12 inches by 6 inches and 2 inches deep. It's one big-ass base. All right, we're going to get this hot, and we're going to pull it down into its rod form. and see what we got for color. And see if we got some magical color. And then we'll make the brown and start the marbles. So whenever you pull color, you got to give it a little tiny pull like this. You have to let this end sit for a minute. Because if you don't and you start pulling it right away, you're going to pull this little extension down here too thin, and you have a chance of snapping your color, which is no bueno. All right, let's bring it down. Yeah, that's never a good trade-off right there. All right, here we go. So we're going to pull it in. Looks like a little maraca shaker right there. And here we go. I will tell you, making color is like an art form by itself. Especially when you can give someone the opportunity to have their own personal color. That makes it really nice. This might be a little too dark, which is okay. We can thin it down a little. No, maybe not. It's in its thick form, so it's going to be a little denser. Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to pull it off here. Yeah, that works. Bring it back out. And there we go. Yeah, that's it. Let me show you through the side cam. Let it cool off. I'm going to flatten a little bit of the end here. I'll flatten a tiny little bit. Two reasons. One, it shows the total transformation of thick to thin. Okay, we're going to let that cool for a minute. And we'll bring it over. So now you can see that. See how it goes much thinner? When you thin it down, it has that very transformative light blue to it. But more importantly, we got the shimmer, which is that. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. See how silky that is? I'll show you one more little trick here. See how rough textured that smooth part or that little flat spot is? Remember that color. We're going to bring it in. Remember that color. Watch how it changes when you smooth it out. Give it a second. Got to do the other side. This is actually a good tutorial right here for any glass people. Even if you're not a glass blower, this is kind of cool to see how the action takes on here. So going from a textured piece to a smooth piece changes the color a dramatic amount. So now we're going to bring it out. See the color just popped? Remember it wasn't shining before? Now look at it. Because we smoothed it out, we now have a nice shimmer to it. Total transformation just by smoothing that out. All right, let's make sure I got enough. I don't know if I have enough on here. I don't. And we're going to use brown anyways. We're going to pull that off. I did burn the hell out of my palm yesterday too. You guys want to see my burn? I'm going to show you, get some sympathy burn here. There you go. So there's the burn from yesterday that I did. Remember I said I burned my palm a little bit? There you go. So do I get burned? Yep. I sure do. I sure do get burned. Not all the time, but it does happen. Let's see if I can get this smoothed out. Now that doesn't bother me. That's what I call the bug bite burn. It's not terrible on you or me. I don't feel it. It doesn't really affect me at all. I just consider it like a bug bite. No different. There we go. I got that done. Let's get the brown done. But yeah, for me, that feels no different than a bug bite. All right, this color is going to be, I like this color a lot. Brown is one of those nemesis colors on the palette. It's not super prominent in the industry. Wow, am I lacking that much clear? Wow, okay. So we're going to take this brown. I'm going to show it to you before and after. So I'm going to show you the brown before we do anything to it, and then once we transform it a little, I'll show you the transformation of that color. There we go. I do remember this combination though. So there's the brown, right like that. Okay, so remember that color. Kind of has a reddish hue to it, but there's the brown. And we're going to do our little tricks on here. We're going to mix it up, add the extra colors. And if I remember right, I did a little yellow in here. We added a little bit of yellow. I'm sorry, Michael, you're having a rough night. All right, let's add the yellow. So just a tiny bit. And I don't know if Jenny's on. Jenny had ordered some pens, and I don't know. I have to relook at labels. I don't know if we shipped them or I was going to do them on live for you. Jenny, if you're on, let me know. I don't want to mention your last name. Jenny D. I'll just say that. Daisy Girl, we are making memorial marbles tonight. And then we'll do some funky stuff maybe. But tonight we're going to do some marbles in the memorial, but we're going to do some cool patterns too. Oh, you're here? Okay. Did you get your pens? I'm trying to say, if you didn't, when we do Dragonfly's tool review tomorrow, let's do your pens. I'll make you some bod pens, some really cool ones. Oh my God. You know what? Red Squeak. I was supposed to do Red Squeaks tonight. Christy, thank you for the dragon. Red Squeak. I am so sorry. Oh my God. Where's Red Squeak? Oh my God. I'm so sorry. We're going to knock yours out tomorrow too. I've just been busy. I went down to my mom's today at the, I'll text you, Red Squeak. No, it's not fine. I need to do your pens. And I need to do Red Squeak. We'll do them during the tool review of Dragonfly. Going to be a busy day tomorrow. All right, so we're adding a lot of the shimmer on here. We have yellow. And if I remember right, we added a tiny bit of black. I think we added black in this. No, Red Squeak, it's not okay. I apologize. It's really not okay. I just have a million things bouncing through my head right now, and trying to keep up with everything is tough at the moment. I have an insurance review for my mom coming up on the 20th. So I don't even know what that's going to be about. I have to go in front of a judge and explain why she needs the insurance to pay for her rehab. I shouldn't have to do that. But I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that with a parent that's in a rehab facility. All right, so we got that done. Let's get this brown made. So we're going to heat it all up. We're going to mix everything and hopefully get an amazing brown. Let's use the big flame for the moment. Yeah, I will tell you, the American insurance system needs an overhaul. Absolutely needs an overhaul. They're horrible. All right, here we go. See that right there? That's why I was worried. See that little piece just fell off? Kind of cracked and went down. Unacceptable. So that's why I didn't want to mix that way. There we go. All right, now we'll start mixing. Yeah, the insurance system is absolutely horrendous. And part of it I blame on laziness with some of the caregivers. Not all of them. 99% of them are good. But there are some nurses that have left notes on my mom, and they didn't take the time to fill it out. They just did like a copy and paste. And so the insurance is denying coverage, saying, oh, she's fine, when she's not. So, sorry, I'm venting. I'm venting on all of you. Sorry. But that's life. All right, here we go. We got this big glob going. Oh, we're making some ooey gooey. This really looks like you could almost eat it. Okay, full disclosure, you cannot eat this. Just so I can protect myself. But doesn't it look like candy, like you could eat it? Totally looks like candy. All right, a little bit more and we'll be done with this. We're going to taper it down. And there we go. We're looking good. Move this drill way out of the way so it doesn't interfere with the camera. So when I'm in my molten ooey gooey state here, it is ridiculous, Daisy Girl. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am just mortified by the system. I appreciate you letting me vent. You guys are like family to me, so even the new people, I love live streaming, but I feel like I can talk to y'all, which is part of why I stream. Look at that shimmer. There we go. I like being a part of, having you guys a part of it and Me too. I just unplugged myself, though. I can't hear myself now. I just ran over my cord. Holy crap! There we go. Let me rearrange this a little so I don't run over myself again. And there we go. All right, let's get this pulled down. Now, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you letting me kind of vent out there. Yeah, they don't pay for meds or anything. All right, so again, we have to heat this up. We're going to pull it to a little bit of a taper, let it cool, and we'll finish pulling the rest of the rod out. And hopefully we have that beautiful brown again. So yeah, tomorrow's stream is going to be pretty amazing. I'm doing a flower combination for red squeak I've never done before. So that'll be a fun flower. I've never done it before. We'll review Dragonfly's tools, and we'll make Jenny some freaking off-the-hook pins. Kind of looks like a plumb line now. I didn't even know what a plumb line was until someone told me. Obviously, I don't do construction. All right, let's get this pulled in nice and comfortable here. Yeah, I'm going to make some pretty amazing marbles tonight for the dog Bree. The owner's name is Rachel. If you guys like, I can pull up the dog's picture again if you want. She did give me permission to do that, and I'll use it in a post. But I can pull up the dog if you guys want to see the dog that I'm working on. And here we go. So we're going to pull it in. Nice and smooth. Really smooth. Yeah, we got a good color here. I don't know if I would add this particular color to my palette. I like the brown, but I think we need to, I think I would eliminate the yellow on it if I was going to add it to my palette permanently, because it does have a little yellowish to it, but the dog Bree had yellow, kind of like a yellow-brown fur. I'll just show you guys the picture. And we'll go from there. All right, we're going to pull this off. And yeah, that looks good. Let me pull this little scrap off. We might use it for something later tonight. And there we go. So I'll bring out the brown and we'll park it right next to each other so y'all can see the change here. So we're going from that brown at the top down to the bottom one with the shimmer. Now it looks a little green gold because of it has to cool off before the effect. You can kind of see it right there. See how when I reflect it a little, that's the brown right there versus that one. But it looks a little green gold right now. Wow, that's color changing. Look at that. I'm not doing anything special. Look how it changes from orange to green. Wow. I like that. That was a trippy color. All right, let me pull up the dog. Turn the torch down for a second. Email. So this is the dog we're doing right here. Look at those eyes and then the color brown. We're going to add a little white in there, but that is the dog we're working on right there, Bree. I think for a special piece, see that turquoisey collar? I'm going to make her one extra marble with the collar on there. I think that would be really cool. Let me grab the ashes because I didn't bring them out until I was ready to go. So let me grab those cremains. I keep everything separated by a long distance here, so we never get anything mixed up. So this has the cremains in it. I'll try and show you, but I can't really spill, but there's the cremains right there for the dog Brie. I don't want to tip it, obviously, because I don't want to have an issue where it spills. That would be horribly mortifying. I've never had that happen, and I wouldn't risk it. So we're not going super high pace tonight. I'm going to kind of run it at a chill pace tonight. So if you guys want to sit back and relax with me, we can definitely do it. Same colors as your Trixie? Really? With the eyes? Is that the same? Your dog has eyes like that? That's totally cool if that answer is yes. All right, so let's start this out. We're going to start with the brown here. We're going to add a little shimmer here. About like that. Okay, so we got a little of the shimmer there. Then we're going to add in the white. So I add a little white in there because the dog had a little white. And here we go. Okay, so we got the white on there. We're going to come over and we're going to flatten it a little bit, round it out a tiny bit. Then we're going to add the cremains. And then we'll start working on the rest of it here. And there we go. So we got a little bit of the white. Now I'll do a little bit of both, up close and not up close. So we're going to come down here, bring this close to there for the ashes, or ash. So we're going to pick that up in a little bit. So we pick up a little bit in here, and you can see we got a little bit added onto the rod, like that. So you can see a little bit of cremains on there right now. And you got to do this in layers. You can't put it all on once. You can't do a big clump in there. It never works that way. So you just keep building it up a little bit at a time, being very careful and cognizant of how much you're putting in. little bit more. And there's a fine balance as to how much you can put in here and still keep it glass. If you add too much of the cremains, it actually turns it to what feels to me like a ceramic. And then it no longer is glass. And too much actually makes it very possible for it to crack. All right, so we should have enough white there. Now we're going to come through and add the blue. We're going to round this out a little bit again. Make sure we're all mixed. There we go. So we're going to heat this up, go back to the marble mold. Nice and gentle push. About like that. Straighten it out a little. So that really dark section, the white right there has all the ash in it. And then we got the brown. And we're going to start focusing on the blue real quick. So we're going to take that shimmer blue we just did and add it to the back end of this white. About like that. So yeah, we are making memorial marbles right now. And they do contain ash from a pet in it. And I'll occasionally show the wonderful pictures of that beautiful dog Bree that we're working on. Now, normally these are like in the 1-inch size, but I'm going to go a little bit bigger. We're going to make them a little bit bigger here. And then some we're going to do totally custom. Okay, so we got the blue added on. Come back to this mold. And here we go. So now you can see the very top part, that really bright section there is the light blue. We got the white. Then we got the brown that's going to be at the end. The ash is located in that white section. So I never ever have the ash exposed to the outside. A lot of people ask me, why don't you do that? A couple reasons. I don't think I like the idea of having it being exposed where people can touch it. And two, I'm always worried that a little fragment of the ash will pop off and it's not fully encased. And that would bother me too. All right, so we do what's called a punty, and we're going to add brown to the other section, get it really nice and coated. Then we're going to flatten it to this UFO shape. And then we'll pull it down and give it a nice spiral. So of the marbles that I make, this particular pattern I'm doing right now is probably one of my top 3 that I enjoy doing. I am, I guess you would call me a minimalist. I like having like very, very distinct shapes. And I don't think adding more is better. I like minimal design impact. Okay, here we go. So we're encasing it now. There we go. So we're all set now. So we have the light blue, the white, the shimmer right there, and then that dark, that cap that's really bright right there is the transparent brown. So now we have to kind of flatten it into what I call the UFO shape. People can call it other things, but I call it a UFO shape because I'm like an alien hunting freak. I want to find me an alien and Bigfoot. So here we go. So we're getting it super, super gooey here. Bring it down. Like that. And here is the UFO shape. I always think that looks like kind of like a UFO shape, like the classic saucer. All right, for this one, we're going to go into a close-up view. And I'll bring it in close so that you can see the actual spiral happening in real time. Wow, I've got like 20 million amber purple rods up here. Ah. There we go. So in order to get the spiral, we're going to have to attach it to the side. Oh, that's a cute dog. Make it look, Wendy, after 32 years, it better look easy. But honestly, I could teach a monkey to do this. There we go. Oh man, we got some cool colors. I could teach anybody to do this. There's nobody, I've never had a student fail, even on an experience. I've had some people struggle, but nobody's ever failed. Nobody has ever not made something or progressed with me. All right, so now we got that attached right there, and we got to heat up the middle, stretch it a little bit. So the flame is going to be focused right in the middle section of that. You can definitely see where I heated right there in the middle. We're going to bring it out and stretch. My philosophy is if you fail to make something, then I failed to teach you. So if you fail, I fail, and I'm not going to let that happen. All right, there you go. You can see we stretched it way out now. So the key on this, so now that I stretched it, I'll explain why I stretched it. You stretch it out, you get the lines running down pretty smooth. When you push it back together, it automatically starts a spiral. So if I wanted to make this back into a marble and keep these lines straight, I wouldn't be able to do it. You would have to leave it in that round form and then try and make a marble off that. But to try and do it off here, no way. Now you can see where we're heating right there. And then we start pushing it together. You can see it doing its natural spiral right there. Yeah, I love this style. There we go. Oh, my watch told me it's time to stand. It is a marble. Yeah. Groves had it. How you doing, Groves? All right, so there we go. We got like a twisty taffy right there. You came in late? No, I'm going to be making a couple of these. You're not late at all. You came to the party when the party got started. You're okay. I want to give a big shout out to the supporters that have been with me for a long time, my mods, for sure. And we're going to give a big shout out to Groves Glass Gallery, who has been around for a long time with me. So Groves is also a lamp worker like me. Can you look at it? Yeah, you won't go blind at all. No, you don't need glasses. You do not have to wear glasses. You're good. Thank you for the super chat, though. Toxic Hurricane, thank you for the gift. The Laughing Disco. It's now showing me the gifts when they come across. I couldn't see them before. I could never see them before, but now I can. Damn it. Use you. I got to tighten the spiral up a little bit. Yeah, thank you for that super chat. The super chats, I can see those come across really bright on my screen, so it's easy to answer those questions. Wendy, thank you so much for the gifts. All right, so now you can see we got all the colors spiraling around. This is like my favorite part. Let's do the hot shot of this. I call this the hot shot. The transformation is really cool. I've done a few short videos of this where it just starts transforming through. And you get that really cool effect right there, like that. So tomorrow's stream, if you want to come in for an awesome stream tomorrow, we're going to be making some amazing pens. We're going to make a flower that I've never made before for Red Squeak, a memorial. Oh my God, the sun came across. Who did that? Bayo. Thank you for that sun. That was awesome. That popped up huge. So yeah, we're doing a flower for Red Squeak I've never done before. I can't think of the name of it right now. If Red Squeak wants to pop it in chat, she can, but that'll be a memorial. Making some awesome pens for Jenny. I'm going to go overboard on that because it's been a while. So she's going to get super pens. And then we're going to be doing a review of Dragonfly's tools. Dragonfly makes a few of my tools. Oh, that's where I was at. So Dragonfly is also a glassblower lamp worker like me as well. So follow Dragonfly Creation. Red Squeak is an amazing photographer. Really actually putting out some really nice video photos. So follow Red Squeak too. And to everybody else that is a supporter, if you have a channel and you've been with me for a while and I don't know about your channel, let me know. I will definitely give you some shout outs. That's a little short. That's okay though. I like paying it forward and promoting people that are really good people. Build an awesome community of other creators. All right, so now we got to finish this part right here. And then we're going to burn it off here. Then we're going to clean it up. So the next marble I'm going to do, we're going to do a wild pattern, a good one, not like obscene, but we're going to do a cool pattern. But now you can see we got that kind of like ice cream swirly up there. Let's bring out the colors so you guys can see. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Look at that blue. Oh my God. And then we got the brown. See that little part right there, that white right there, that little streak? That is ash buried underneath the brown. So that little part right there is the actual ash too. It poked itself out a little bit. It's not able to be touched, like you can't feel it. It's just poking just a little bit below the brown. So now we're going to melt it in. I'll use the filter since we're up close. So this is how I see the world. This is the lens this material is the lenses that are in my glasses currently. And that's how I can see what I'm doing versus that. Christy, thank you for those dragons. Christy's awesome. Thank you. You've always been such an awesome supporter. There are people on here that have just been absolutely amazing, and thank you all for the support. I don't know, maybe I'm a little emotional tonight because you all are awesome. When I'm having a crappy day, I love hanging out with all of you. Make my day better. And I truly mean that. And if there's a troll out there that wants to make fun of it, make fun of it. I don't care. I really don't. I just enjoy hanging out with the people that I know and new people. I like meeting new people. Y'all are awesome. Oh my God, goals achieved. Thank you. Thank you so much. I actually achieved a goal today because I didn't hit many goals today in life. I failed at the goals of life. I met an amazing young man that came out to pick up I sold my Mac Mini because I'm not using it. And he came out here and hopefully he's watching right now because he just bought my Mac Mini. What an amazing young man. Awesome. His name's Mario. Mario, if you're watching, thank you again. I don't know. My watch keeps telling me to stand up. I don't know if I'm going to have a heart attack or something. It keeps telling me stand the hell up. I don't know why. I'm getting annoyed by it, though. Okay, so we're going to do the hot shot. This is one of my favorite things on here to do. I should probably do a collage of hot shots for a short video. Here we go. So a hot shot is this, where we bring it over and we start letting it cool. Oh, thank you, Christian. And look at that. That's the hot shot. I love the hot shot. All right, now we got to grab Dragonfly's other tool that I absolutely already reviewed. This is amazing. So this is a marble holder. It also works for ornaments during Christmas time. This will work really good for holding ornaments. Ornaments are a pain in the butt. Philip, thank you so much. You've actually been a really big supporter too. Thank you, Philip. Philip has collected some amazing marbles. And then we come over and tap. This is how you get it off the stick, like that. It kind of rolled on me in there because I didn't have a firm grip. And I'll show you the spot that it leaves. See that little, there's a little scar right there, right at the tip where that white little bubble is right there. You can see a little ring. That's where the rod was attached. So you bring it in and you smooth it out very gently with the flame. You don't overcook it. And then you bring it back and now it's all smoothed out. Just move alert from your health. Yeah, I got to figure it out. I'm not very keen on the Apple ecosystem right now. I'm still learning. All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at that blue. Now that blue doesn't exist in the current color palette. Oh my God. Totally different with a light on it, right? Doesn't it look different? Off, on. All right, this one we're going to do wild. So we're going to envelop this one totally different. All right, here we go. We got to get it all set up. So we're going to grab a larger holding rod right here. We're going to cut it down. So this one's going to have a pretty cool pattern to it. Oh, got to change my view though. There we go. Okay, so we got that. We're going to put it off to the side. We're going to grab our white here. We're going to start with white. Yeah, I do like, I love that color. Firefly, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to start with white this time. So the cremains that we're using are right in this dish down here. Thank you for the gold coin. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. And hopefully you can see the cremains. So there's the cremains picked up on the rod right there. You can see them very much prominent right there. Well, it's a little fuzzy, but those are all the cremains. Now watch the color of the flame change. So the very first time I did this, I was using my dog's ashes, my own dog, and I saw the flame change and I thought something was going wrong. So I had to take a while and think about why the flame was changing, and it's because all the metals in the, whether it's an animal, person, or whatever, the metals start vaporizing in the flame. They don't withstand the flame. They vaporize. So the sparks you see are certain types of metals evaporating in the flame. And you get different colors. A lot of times I'll get reds. Red has a lot of iron in it. So if the ashes have a lot of iron, we get a red. If the odd one is titanium. So I've had people that have had titanium hips and stuff, and a little bit of that titanium got into the ash. Sorry, I got a bug on my elbow. So the titanium gets in there and it turns purple. Turns the flame purple. All right, get off me. And then the green is like a chromium color. And yellow usually indicates some type of silver or a manganese. So one more dip in here. Okay. I like it. So we're going to grab our drill and we're going to use a brown on the outside here with it. So we're going to kind of make it a white with a little brown into it. When this is diluted down, it's going to turn it kind of amber color. But right now I want to make the core with this. Like that. So now all those remains are completely blended in. Like that. So the craziest color ash I ever got was a African bullfrog. And it was like an 11-pound bullfrog. And when I went to make the memorial, the ash was super bright green. I mean, bright green, which I was surprised that, you know, during cremation process that the ash stayed green. I thought it would turn brown or something, or like a white, but no, it was super green. And when I made the glass with the memorial, it was supposed to be like a yellow and white color for the memorial, but the ash turned the glass super bright green. And I couldn't get rid of it. It stayed green. So I called the customer and let her know what was happening. And she was good with me keeping the green in there. And the bullfrog memorial came out unbelievable. And I just found photos of it because I want to show you guys the green that came out from that. I'm going to try and do a little video of some of the archive stuff. But yeah, the green on that bullfrog's memorial was unbelievable. And I ended up making a small bullfrog memorial. It was a surprise for her. So I ended up taking the bullfrog's ashes and making a little mini bullfrog. Like a sculpted memorial with the ash. So I just found the photos though, so. Okay, so this one, normally, remember I made that UFO shape just a little earlier? So this one, we're going to do solid stripes down this direction, up and down. And then we're going to stretch it out a little bit and do what's called a little wigwag. And we're going to create that back and forth pattern. But before I do that, I'll show you the color. So the brown mixed in with the white, like I said, it kind of created like an amber color. So this is the white with the ash, and then we got the amber color right in here. See how it kind of created that light amber? Some people call it yellow, but when it cools off, it'll be more of an amber color, closer to that, like right below that dark spot. Which is cool. All right, so we're going to add the blue. Make sure this isn't hot. So as I said, we're going to stripe downward this time. Yeah, we're going to go downward motion and start adding some stripes in here. like that. So we're going to do one on each side opposite of each other. There we go. Ooh, I like this. What's up, Janae? How are you? Thanks for the heart me, Firefly. Thank you. I know, right, Christy? This is going to be an interesting piece. But the bullfrog was the interesting one that I was talking about before. Bullfrog was absolutely outstanding. All right, we're going to take our dark brown and go opposite. So the brown, we're going to do a double thick row because the dog was mostly brown. We're going to do that on both sides again. I love it when customers give me the freedom to kind of have fun with it. You usually end up getting a lot more than you paid for. When someone says go for it, I usually like have a lot of fun. And tonight I need some fun. Okay, so we got the brown on there. Bring it out here. Now you can see we got the blue. That's the undercoating that we had there, the brown. Undercoating in blue all the way around. If you guys ever think that I'm doing too much talking, like I'm showing you too many techniques, just say something and I can taper it down. All right, I caught my TikTok here. I can do my CAPTCHA. There we go. Caught the CAPTCHA in time. Okay, so I had a different white up here. Here it is. So there's a couple different whites that I have. One is kind of like a chalky white, kind of a matte white. This one is more of a porcelain white. It is very, very smooth and has a clean look to it. Nothing wrong with the white that doesn't have that. Like the chalky version, it just fits a different purpose. And I just lost it. Well, I have it more here. I'll bring it over and see if you guys can see the difference here. We'll bring it over. I wonder if you can tell on camera. So ignore the section in the middle that has like the baubles in there. But those are two different whites right there. One of them is a porcelain white, which is the one that's closer to the fiery, like the kiln right there. And the other one is the chalky version. For this one, I want the porcelain version. And by the way, the birthday cakes from yesterday turned out really good too. We're going to do there and there. Where'd you crack? right at the holding rod. You guys hear that little tink? That's a crack. Now that happens occasionally. It's mostly on the holding rod itself down here where the attachments are, because they're not fused in. But hopefully you can hear that little tink. Goes tink. Thank you, Groves. Yeah, I have the birthday cakes right handy, right behind me. After I do this, I'll bring the birthday cakes out so you guys can actually physically see them. All right, so one of those whites we're going to encase in the brown, and then we're going to pull this and start making the color, or the marble. We're going to do one on each side here. And there we go. So we're fully encased now. So I'll bring it out one last time. You can kind of see there's the blue, there's the brown over the white, the brown, the white, blue, brown over white, and white. Okay, so next step, we got to elongate this quite a bit. This is going to create a really cool, amazing pattern to it. It's called a wigwag. I used to call it a zigzag, but I kept getting flagged for calling it a zigzag because it's too close to like zigzag papers. So it kept flagging for, you know, bad stuff, apparently. Okay, so we're going to bring it out here. Getting it super heated. I probably should have used a close-up cam on this. I'm sorry. So now we're going to stretch it way out here. So my rule of thumb is about double the length of the original size. So if this was 1 inch long, you want to go double and go into 2 inches or a little bit longer. So now you can see we got all the color striping all the way around there. And you want to taper the two ends a little bit thinner in the beginning. So we're going to come in here and we're going to twist in one direction. And push it together a little. So we got a little spiral there. You have to let it cool. And then you come right behind it and go the opposite direction. And it starts creating that wigwag. So now we went opposite direction. Got to let it cool. And then flip it back. So you just keep going back and forth, basically wigwagging it. But the key in here, can you see where I'm heating right there? This is for my glass people out there. I'm not directly behind it. I have about a 1/4 inch spacing in between. I'm not heating up. Because the side flame, the flame is branching out, is heating up that little 1/4 inch section. And then we go that direction. Nice big old spiral there. And you don't want to use a giant flame for this. You want control. Like that. And hopefully Fiery Mom's watching right now. If you guys want to say hi to Mom, say hi to my mom. She's watching right now from the rehab facility. I'm pretty sure she's watching tonight. One of the nurses when I was there asked if I could make a spider. Normally, I refer spiders out to a guy named Raphael. But because the nurse asked for it, I may make a spider. Not tonight, but we'll do a spider. Apparently, there's a poem about a spider decorating a Christmas tree that she's told me about, which is why she wants it. I have to look up the poem with the spider. I've never heard of it before. But apparently the spider went in and spun its webs and decorated the Christmas tree. I've never heard of it before. Thank you for saying hi to my mom. Hi, Betty. Thank you, Gunslinger. All right, so before we go into full marble mode, I'm going to show you the back and forth that we just did. We spent all that time making that. Bring it over. So now you can see the patterning is just, the pattern is running back and forth like that. So that is technically the Wigwag right there. Kind of cool, right? How you can take those straight lines and kind of zigzag it back and forth and get it looking really kind of cool. It's a nice little after effect there. We're going to pull off the other end. And then we're going to fully make this into a marble. We're going to bring this out here and we're going to remove that section. And there's no ash in this one, 0, as far as the parts I'm pulling off. There are no cremains in the parts I'm pulling off. Okay, one last look here. So we got the end cleaned up right there. We got the other end cleaned up right there. And again, when you shine the light on there, I don't know why this looks so much like an 80s wallpaper. These colors just look like an 80s wallpaper to me. They really, really do. All right, so now we're going to transform it into the actual marble. And here we go. So the trick is we just have to compress this. Those lines are going to get tighter and tighter as I start compressing. So while they're appearing to be a little bit spread out, after I start compressing it down, they get much, much tighter. And it looks like you drew the lines on with really super thin glass. And we just got to be careful as we're doing it. Keep both hands rotating same direction, same pace, so we don't mess up the pattern. And there we go. So it's starting to compress down. And I can see those lines getting tighter and tighter as we're bringing it in. Keep it as centered as possible. So we're going to work one end, bring it in as close as I can. There we are. We got part of a marble done. And then we're going to melt the other side right into it. And then I'll show you the progress. So here you can see it like that. Going to let it taper down, not traper down. And here we go. Okay, we're just letting gravity do 90% of the work now. Going to bring it out, separate that clear. Then we're going to taper it just a little bit. Get rid of that little clear section right there. Keep the spiral going. And we're looking cool. All right. You can see a little bit of funky right there. Ready for it? 3, 2, 1. Now look at how tight those patterns got. That back and forth just compressed way down. Princess Mira Gold Jewelers. That sounds awesome. Jewelry always scares me. I've had a lot of people ask me to kind of like do parts with jewelry. I won't mess with it. I'm always scared of hitting like close to a stone with the flame. I don't want to crack something. All right, so now we're just going to compress and go into the marble mold. I forgot we got to do the larger view here. I know, right, Christy? Betty, I agree. Okay, here we go. So now we're getting that round marble shape. See if I can get you guys a cool hot shot here. Bring it out. You can see the spiral happening right there. I'm going to try and do that one more time. That wasn't a very good one. That was kind of weak for a hot shot. There's the pattern right there. And then kind of fades out. This amber purple. I got an amber purple nightmare up here. I got so much amber purple up here still. But I really need this holding rod. Need a skinnier holding rod. All right, so we're going to tap at the end here. like that. And then we just have to get this all done. Pull that off. Clean it up a little. I think I have to lubricate my foot pedal again. You guys can hear that squeak. Hear it? By the way, the marble from, I have some of the marbles from yesterday. You guys want to see the marbles from last night? Oh, it does look like a hurricane. You want to see the eyeball marble from yesterday? We'll do the birthday cakes and the eyeball marble. We'll take a short gander. I had to make sure they, so when I do those marbles that are kind of like out of my normal comfort zone, I have to let them sit to make sure they're not going to crack. I usually, once I let them sit for a day, I'm comfortable they're not going to crack. So we bring it back into this marble mold here. There we go. And we got us a nice round marble here. Now that has the eyeball effect a little bit. You can see that definitely prominent in there, but now we got the patterns running all the way around. They're not as defined as they will appear once it completely cools off, but now you can see that side pattern like that. Yeah, the center pattern in there will all be a lot cleaner once it cools. Then we're going to grab Dragonfly's marble holder. So you always preheat the tool. This particular glass can withstand a 900-degree thermal shock. So what that means is it can go from 0 to 900 and not crack. But because the glass is still sitting at 1500, I warm these up to not give it such a bad shock treatment there. So there's one side like that. And then there's the other side. Remember I said that side would be a little tighter looking? And there we go. So this is the version right there. That just looks so freaking cool. And then there's the tight patterns back and forth like that. All right, let's grab the swirly marble. This is the eyeball one from yesterday. Remember I said it was an eyeball? There we go. Look at it. When you look at it that way, it has that eyeball look. And then there, look at that blue-green in there. And we got the shimmer, and then there's the side view. Look how tight those spirals are. Yeah, there's the eyeball. And there we go. I love that. That looks like Aurora Borealis. I don't know. Does it look Aurora Borealis to you? It does to me. Then this was the other marble we did. We did 3 of them total yesterday, but there we got that one. We got the amber purple right there. We got the stripes. And we got the fiery on this end. So this was made with the scraps from yesterday. Remember the iris that we did? So we took the iris scraps and we made it into this marble. And then the last one we did was this one. This one knocked me for a loop here. Ready? Look at that. I freaked out when I saw that. Look at that glow underneath it with the blue. And we got the Aurora Borealis right there. But that right there just made me go, holy moly. That is gorgeous. This marble came out outstanding. Yeah, that marble was like, when I pulled it out of the kiln, I just went, oh my God. Sorry about that. And then the birthday cakes. This one was, so this is birthday cake. Oops, sorry. So this was the one birthday cake we did. We got the, but look at that top. And I think this has the, is this the Lucy? Yeah. It's too bright in here, but this has the Lucy effect to it. Nope, you're dead as a doornail. I'm going to try and bring it over so you can see that pink. It's really bright in here, but you can see that pink in there glowing. And then we got the pink down here, right on the sides. And then here's the cool part. Oops, sorry, wrong view. There we go. But yeah, that is birthday cake 1. And then the other birthday cake is here. And I freaked out at this one too. Look at all the spirals in there. Can you see all the little tiny spirals running in there? I was totally amazed at that. And then there's the spacey bottom. This looks like a gas nebula. And then uranium. So we got the uranium flame with the candle and the Lucy. There we go. So we go from that to that. And to that. But look at that Lucy. Yeah, that Lucy popped out. Awesome. Yep, that one is yours. So again, I let them sit for a little bit. Okay, so we need to make more marbles. So this one, I'm going to do a little different pattern on it too. We're going to change out the brown here. We're going to add in some clear for the drill. I thought I cut more of those rods. I hope I did. That'll be long enough. So we're going to do white again for the core. We're going to add a little shimmer to the core. And then we're going to transform it. Actually, we're going to use the blue we had before. We're just going to use that up in there. We could use the blue shimmer. Let's go ahead and get this done. So again, we're working Memorial Marble again. This has ash from a dog named Bree. So we're going to grab some of the ash down here, which is located in this dish right here. Going to pick up that ash, infuse it in. Actually, I could probably just dip this one in there. That'll definitely show the ash. So now you can definitely see the ash sitting on the rod right there. So that contains all the ash or remains in it. It's acting like fireworks right now. All those metals are burning off. That actually picked up a lot of ash. I don't need to add any more now. I picked up quite a bit. Mix it in there. We're going to add a little shimmer glimmer in there. I've got a little section here that I had pulled out. Going to add it in. The blue already had some shimmer, but we're going a little extra on this for the pattern I want to do. There we go. We got that cool pattern. We're going to add a little bit of the light blue in there. Actually, I got it. Remember I said I was going to use this later? I can actually add it in now. So you'll see what I'm doing with this one. This one is going to be, I don't want to give it away yet. This has a purposeful meaning to it. This one will definitely have a meaning to it. Once I do it, you will see it. You won't be able to unsee it. It's going to look awesome. Okay, so we're going to take it right there. Burn it off over here. Like that. Let's go ahead and melt all that in, then we got to drill mix it. I'm hoping this either breaks off or melts. All right, there we go. We're going to let that melt in there a little bit more. All right, we're good there. Okay, we're going to set that off to the side. Okay, we're good. Going to come over to the marble mold. Get a little section here. John, I'll have to read your text in a little bit, but I'll let you know I just got it. Okay, we're going to come over to this. I need to round it out a little bit more. Okay, so I'll let you guys guess what's going to happen here. I don't know what you guys are saying with view. There we go. Okay, now keep your eye on this one. So we got the light blue here all the way around. A little bit of dark blue down there. You can see it's kind of got that shimmer. I do have an online shop, yes. All right, so we're going to start off with the white. I should have that little bit of porcelain white right here. I do. I'm going to start up here and start adding in some white here. It's looking good there. So we added some white dots all the way around, like that. Okay. And then there's the front again. This is part of it. You can see that blue popping in right there. And then we're going to come back to our close-up view. We're going to grab our dark shimmer color that we made, the dark brown here. We'll start putting larger little dots down here. Surrounding the whole thing. Like that. Just creating color on there. So right now we're just creating some color on there now. And there's the front again. We got that beautiful blue. So hopefully it shows up. Now you can see that blue really popping out. We got the dark brown with the shimmer and the white. And we're going to grab our lighter brown here. Well, it's dark brown, it's just not shimmered. go big, heavy dots all the way around. Glass is so freaking magical. You can do so much with it. All right, got a little couple more to go. Like that. So we added a lot of the darker brown on the sides now. So now we got all of that. And again, there's the cluster. Okay, I need a skinnier clear rod. Now this might be enough, we'll see. We're going to heat it all the way up. Trying to get that color to blend in a little bit. Getting it to smooth out a tiny bit. I'll show you from the side too. So this is like the side view. We'll bring it over here so you can see. So there is through the side view. You can kind of see how it's melting in there versus that. We'll let you see into the fire a little bit. Might be able to see a good vision. There you go. Now you can see the disc in there. Okay. Grab our clear rod again. Got to let it heat up a little more. I got a little cold on that end because I heated it all the way around. Got a little cold on the back end. We've got to heat it up here. Okay, I got my pattern. We got the pattern done. So there's the pattern going in. Bring it back out. You can see kind of like a little squiggles all over the place. Then there's the top view. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it back in. I think I got to move just a little bit more right here. Okay, I got that. Let's go ahead and get this all situated. Pop out here. This has gotten a little bigger than I wanted, but that's okay. Okay, there we are. That's it. It got a lot bigger than I wanted, but oh well. I'm not going to sacrifice the design for size. Here we go, back out. So now you can see we got this kind of pattern going in there. It's probably difficult to see at the moment. Bring it up here. Let's add a little bit of this in here. Bring it back out. So if you haven't figured out right now, I'm trying to replicate the dog's eyeball, like the eye, but I'm not trying to make it necessarily look like an eye. I want it to have that eye effect. So the center core is going to be that bright, bright blue. Then we got the brown and white running through the sides, kind of like the iris. And we're doing the center core nice and bright blue. So when I took all those colors and I mixed them and blended them, what I was shooting for is the kind of like that iris look. And there we go. So now you can see we got that kind of center core where the blue will be for the right there. And then we got some patterns running in there. Now, once all that cools off, it's going to look 10 times better. But for right now, that is the temporary look. Then we're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Definitely got a lot bigger than I wanted. Now this side, I'm going to leave a little bit of the darker blue in the center. Like that. We kind of have that mushroom effect. All right, we're going to come into the core here, blend all that in. Got to get it nice and hot. Okay, okay, okay. Almost there. Pull it down a little bit so I can give it a little bit of a spiral twist in there. All right, it's moving now. We got it looking good. It's starting to move. You can see I'm pulling it down a little. There we are. Wow, that looks good. All right, here we go. Now I just have to button this back up and should be good to go. Bring it out and separate. Oh, my holding rod cracked. Damn it, don't you dare fall. There we go. And we're getting a very clean little section here. So again, this should start to kind of look like the eyeball. I might put a little dark core in the center up here. I'm not sure on this one. Now this one I have to keep super centered on here. I don't want it flopping all over the place. Yeah, I'm going to put a tiny little dark core blue in there. Just a little tiny, tiny bit. Not going to make a total black pupil in there, but I did give it a little punch of color. And then I'm going to teach you guys a little trick here. So we're going to take this tool. I'm going to push that in right here. So I push a little divot in there, right where I put the dark blue. So there we got the dark blue going. You can see the core colors popping out now. And then we'll go ahead and start sealing it up. So pushing that little divot of blue in there with the tool is going to keep that little section round. Otherwise, the color kind of envelops around it. And I want to keep it centered and nice and round. Yeah, we got it. It's looking good. So if you have stuck around this long, this one is worth waiting for. This is definitely one worth waiting for to see. Bring it out here. Yeah, we're looking good. We're about 5 to 7 minutes off from finishing it now. That's maximum time. 5 to 7. All right, here we go. So we're going to start to see that real dark blue right there surrounded by the light blue. And then we got the other portion of the eye going in there, and those colors are going to cool off a little and start transforming. But from the front, you can see it kind of has that eyeball look. Christy, thank you for the dragon. Christy, thank you. All right, now we're going to come through and do the other side. So the other side has a totally different look to it. I wanted to create two different versions of what the eyeball will kind of look like. So one's a little more detailed, the other one's kind of just different. Okay, there we go. And we're going to round out the other side now. Get this one all situated. That one actually looks good too. But I'm not going to put the little center core in there, like the complete pupil. I want this one to be a little different. All right, I just had a big ass bug land in my head. I'm looking in the camera. Must think I'm a bird's nest or something. All right, so now we just got to round this one out. And I'm telling you, the colors on this are going to be super amazing. Got to let it kind of gravity drip down. So I kind of wanted to make it look like an eyeball, but not an eyeball, if you will. I'm going to show you the picture of the dog again, and we'll see if we nailed the color of the eye pretty close. Well, the color of the fur with the eye. Because the dog's eye is really bright blue. All right, let's get it all finished up here. And we're super smooth. Polish out any chunky monkey marks on there. Check my consistency. Yeah, I think we're good here. So I'm going to show you this side. Then I think I can punty off that. I think it's pretty round. So now we got that bright blue. Now those colors are going to have a little bit more dramatic effect right here. But there's our bright blue. I wanted to leave that kind of normal. I am going to punty up to the other side real fast. This is the side I'm heavily focused on right here. And the reason I did the punty here is because I have that little blue center. I was worried if I knock the rod off, it might take a little bit of blue that I don't want missing, or I don't want to take all the blue off. I just want a little section. All right, we're good. Now we just smooth it out, and this one will be done. This, I can already tell the color is outstanding. Outstanding. There we go. And it is done. I'll just have to detach the rod and we're good to go. But before I do that, I'm going to show you guys. We're going to let it cool a little bit. Bring down here. We got a nice centered pull right there. We got the blue deep, the light blue there, and look at those colors starting to transform right there. A little bit of the white with the brown. You can see the white peeking in there. And yeah, that is, I'm going to get it as close to the cam as I can. You can see how beautiful that blue is. See those little white flecks in there? That is the ash in there. Those little white flecks in with the light blue. That is the actual cremains in there. We're going to take it here. Grab it, let it cool, and then tap. And then this cooled off enough that I can show you again, and it should show a little bit more color now. There's the sides. Look at how beautiful that is. Like that. Now, pay attention to that color because I'm going to pull the dog's picture up. So what I'm looking at is that outer ring right there for the blue. And then we got those colors right there. All right, give me a second. I'm going to pull the colors. And there we go. So I think I nailed that eye a little bit. See how it's bright blue, and then we got the darker center, and we got the fur going around. I think I nailed that eye perfect. I think I nailed it perfect. Let me go to the side and grab a quick color real quick. I need to grab something out of here. And I'm looking for it. Hoping I have it right handy. Damn it. Sorry, I'm just looking for this one particular color. And I'm hoping I can find it real handy. Without dropping all my glass. There it is. I don't have much of this glass left on hand at the moment, but this is like a light sparkle blue. So I want to change the design up a little bit for colors. I want to keep that blue going, but I want to add a real bright sparkle to it. So you can see this. Well, it's not showing that way. See those little sparkles in there now? So I want to add that sparkly, sparkly blue in there on the next couple. I think that sparkle blue will change up a little bit of a look, and we'll have an really cool aspect to it. But we're going to kind of do the traditional marble now. We're going to go back to that original UFO shaped starter pack and see how we go from there. I'm just having fun. Oh, the sword on the sidewall? Gail, thank you for the dragon. Can you guys see that sword hanging off the wall, the dagger, when I do the side view? Hopefully you can see that dagger sitting up right there. I did hang it. Yeah, I did end up hanging that dragon up. Dragon dagger, I should say. All right, there's the one color. I need the dark brown. Here we go. That's your favorite piece? There you go. Yeah, that's kind of like a fun little thing. All right, let's go ahead and get this done. These will be pretty fast. We're kind of going back to the basic form now. We'll be jamming through these. It's that really bright shimmer. So technically these marbles were only supposed to be 1 inch. But everybody that knows me knows I have a hard time making super small marbles all the time. So that last marble I did was probably pushing 2 1/4 inches. Now the customer's okay with it. But yeah, these are technically just the 1 inch travel marbles, but I'm having fun. So we're going a little overboard and making it cool. All right, so we're going to take that. We're going to come in. We're going to dip the ash in here. Add it in. Do it again. So this is the cremains from the dog. Wait till you see the next dagger I'm doing. So the next dagger is just going to be clear, gold, and frosted glass. The next dagger is just clear, frosted, and gold. So we're not doing any exotic colors on it. We're just doing those colors. All right, let's go ahead and add the blue. Oh, see that? The rod stuck when I set it down. That's what happens when you have a messy bench right now. No, we don't do those. We don't do any paraphernalia. Not our thing. All right, here we go. So we're adding the bright blue now. Now this is where I'm going to add that really sparkly blue on top of the bright blue here. So we're going to add the sparkles on top of the shimmer, get a double effect of it. So this is that sparkle blue, not the shimmer blue. I'm going to come right on top of it and add it there. And there we go. Ooh, doggy. That looks good. I can already tell. Can already tell. All right, let's go ahead and put it into the mold and get it kind of halfway flattened out. Then we'll add the dark brown to the other side, flatten it, pull it, shape it. There we are. Kind of looks like a door handle right now. There's the white. Then we got the light baby blue up there, and then the sparkle. I don't know if the sparkle is going to show up. Yeah, it did. So now you can see these like little diamond effect sparkles in there. And below that is the shimmer. See how it kind of has that sparkly galaxy look? That's exactly what I wanted. Then we'll come over here and add the brown and flatten, twist, and spiral. So we're going to add the brown and then bring it down on top of the rest of this. And here we go. I'm going to do a couple of these, I think, because they look really good with that sparkly blue. I think we need to make a couple. Okay, that should be enough. We're going to go ahead and fuse that in. So from the side, you can see that gap. We're going to close up that gap in between. And just make it look outstanding. So this is the marble prep. And the next 2 or 3 minutes, we'll get to the point where we'll start pulling it out and getting the actual marble twist and spiral going. So if you're just joining us and you want to see a cool effect, give me about 2 or 3 minutes before swiping. And there we go. So from the side, we really flattened it way out. So we squished it down. Let's grab our next punty rod. I know I just pulled a bunch of these. They can't be all gone by now. You'll work. And then to pop it onto the side. So this is the key. We got to put in a side 90-degree angle. Tap that off, and then we got this left over. So now we got, there's the blue section and the brown. And then we got the white right in the middle. Now visually, in that dark scenario, it doesn't really show, but when you start adding in the lighting, you can see it like that. And there's our blue. And we're going to attach right directly across from it. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a couple of these. Okay, the key to this is we got to heat just the middle section of this. I don't want the flame hitting these two sections. We're going to heat right in the middle. You can kind of see right there, that middle section is just super hot. You can actually punch it in. See how that middle section's heated and the two sides are not. Then we bring it out and stretch. Like that. So now we got it elongated. And then when we start pushing it back together, yeah, we're using oxygen and propane. The flame is actually bright blue. The camera has a very hard time picking up the color. Yeah, the camera's struggling right now picking up that color. I'll show you here in a minute what it really looks like. All right, so we're getting our twist going. Damn, again, this got way bigger than I wanted. These are supposed to be 1 inch. This is like pushing 1.5. There we go. Now you can see those spirals happening. So the first thing we're going to do is melt this section down, get it rounded out. Then we'll transfer over and do the other side. And here we go. Park that punty way over here for the moment. We're going to clean off the top here. I don't want that clear on there. There we go. So we're left with this spot. I would personally, I like this design for a memorial. I think it looks kind of cool with the multi-sections, almost like a seashell. I love this design. I would personally love that by myself. But now you can see we got all the colors spiraling. I would love leaving that. All right, let's get this figured out. No, bigger isn't always better at all. I just happen to be, I'm trying to get as much color in here, making it, sectional. And sometimes they get a little bigger. Because I'm trying to show as much color transition through here. So like on a 1-inch marble, you really don't want to have more than like 3 to 4 colors in there because you don't have enough room to apply all the colors before they start getting muddy. So too many colors mixing together and they start getting what I call the muddy effect. But this is looking outstanding. Yeah, this is looking really good. We're going to round it out. Which marble mold do I want to use? It's like right in the crawl space between two sizes. There we go. So I'm going to show you the hot shot. Give it a second here. We'll do this hot shot's going to look good. All right, keep your eye on it. I got to keep it rotating, but here it comes. And that's what I'm talking about, that really beautiful ornate spiral. All right, am I rounded? I am very rounded right there. We're good. So then we just do the same thing to this side right here. A bit off. There we go. That rod's getting too short. I'm going to put it off to the side so I don't actually grab it by accident. I got a little too much in there. Hold on. Let's grab this one. Got a little too much clear dead center here. There we go. All right, one more hot shot. So now you can see this side will have a different looking spiral. Same effect, but you have that, it's more of a loose spiral, not quite as tight. So this particular marble pattern that I have is called the loose spiral, and that's why. The other one is called the tight spiral, where everything is spinning around so tight. Almost there. You guys see that bug? That was a kamikaze bug. Did you see it fly? That sucker went crazy. That was an angry bug. All right. I think we got this one nailed down too. There's a tiny little air pocket in here, but the air pocket is hiding a piece of ash, so I don't want to try and remove it. See that little air pocket off to the side right there? That little air pocket? There's a little piece of ash underneath it. But there we go. Really beautiful patterning. And then the colors will start popping out really good. That looks really good, actually. I do like it. And then we're going to grab Dragonfly's amazing tool and break it off the rod. There we go. Oh, this definitely shows a punty mark. See that little section right dead center up there, that little scarring? That's where the rod was attached. That's called the punty mark. And then you just heat it up with the flame and it smooths out really nice. Then that punty mark disappears. Like that. Now it's all gone. It just looks really good. Let's see what we got on this side. I don't know what it's going to even look like. There we go. You can see that blue popping in. Definitely has a cool pattern to it. All right, let's finish this up. Do I have any more? Oh, time to open a new Mountain Dew. Time for a new Mountain Dew. Christy, you have a good night too. Thank you for all your contributions and just being a cool member of the Fiery family. You have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. All right, we're going to do the brown again. Let's see if I can get this one going a little faster. What time is it? We have 2:38. Let's see if I can get this one done a little bit more record time. I'm not going to rush it just to rush it, but let's see if we can do it a little quicker. And see if I can keep it in the 1-inch size, or at least closer to it. Okay, a little bit of shimmer here. So we were at 239. Okay, we got that done. Let's grab the white. We're going to pop that in there. Then we got to grab the ash and put that in as well. So this is a memorial marble. This contains ash from a beautiful dog named Bree. Bree was brown with these bright blue eyes. So the two colors we're primarily focusing on is brown with blue, and then a highlight of white because Bree had a little bit of white in the fur. So there we're adding the cremains. And I like doing memorials online like this too, because a lot of people have asked me over time, how do I know you put the ash in there? Well, currently you're watching me put the ash in the project. So like if someone's really concerned of, do you put the ash in there? I can do it on live stream and they can see it, the process actually being done. Because I got to admit, I'm not offended by someone saying, how do you put the ash in there and do you really put it in there? It's how I started this portion of the glass business because I saw other glass blowers doing this. And that was my big concern. Are they actually putting the ash into the glass? And it was a big question of mine, a legitimate one. So when I did my own, I knew that it was in there. And then all my friends were asking me to do their pets. And I figured I might as well offer it online so that people can see it really being done. Because it is a big concern. You know, how do I know you put the ash in there? Now you can witness it. Okay, we got the bright blue here. But yeah, it's a legitimate question, and I'm not offended by it. It is 100% legitimate to ask that. Oop. I guess it wanted a little more blue there. Okay, we got that. Let's go ahead and add in that sparkle blue. So this is the sparkly color. But yeah, it's total legitimate question to ask someone. Okay, we got the sparkle blue in there. We're going to go ahead and flatten it out in here. Where are we at time-wise? We're at 43. So we're 5 minutes into this right now, roughly 4.5, 5 minutes. We're going to flatten it now. So this is how we make the spiral version. We're going to flatten two ends like a UFO. And then from there, we're going to transform it into a spiraled marble. There we go. So we're going to add the brown to the rest of this section and then pull it into its spiral. Got a little air pocket in there we're going to get out while we're doing this. And air pocket is gone. So if you got a little air pocket in there, you can kind of twist the rod in the opposite direction as you're melting it in, and it kind of twists those little air pockets out. Yeah, this will be closer to the 1-inch size, so we're good. Go ahead and separate. Man, I'm out of room up here. So tomorrow night's stream will be a fun one. We're doing multiple pens, like writing pens that take big inserts. We're going to be making a memorial flower for Red Squeak. The flower I've never done before, so it'll be an interesting challenge. And we're going to be debuting Dragonfly's tools. And I'm going to do a review of how amazing they are. So we're going to do a multiple function stream tomorrow. There we are. All right, so from here, we're going to pop it into a 90-degree. elongate it, and that will give us our spiral when we push it back together. So we just bring it out here like that, lock it in place, tap it, off it comes. We left with that lollipop look. We're going to go ahead and attach to the other side. Bring it down, and we're going to focus solely on the core, the middle core. We'll stretch it out, but I'm going to change the view. There we go. And we're heating up center core. Bring it out. Stretch. Like that. So the interesting part, the longer I stretch it, the more spirals we have. The least I stretch it, more of a like wider swath of color. And this one, we want to have the wider swath of color. And you can see as I'm pushing it together, they start getting that little twist in there. You can see we're getting it really pushed in now. There we go. We got that side pretty set up to go round pretty well. This side needs some help now. So we're going to break it off. We're going to melt it all in. Bring it out here so you guys can see that action take place. All right, we're going to have to use a longer, thicker rod. That's all I have on hand. There we go. Now this part, I do tighten up the spiral a little. So we have the really cool spirally look. Let me hot shot it. There we go. So you can see that spiral is really wide and swathy, like a hurricane look, like a tsunami sign or something. Then we just melt it up. Oh, we're getting a little breeze coming in. Yeah, this is the 1-inch size right here. This is close to it now. This is technically what the customer ordered, but I've been going a lot bigger and doing cool designs because they gave me freedom to do it. So, yeah, we've been kind of spending some extra long time on this. But it's a memorial. I don't mind spending extra time on memorials. It's not like it's a trinket or a little tchotchke. All right, we got that side all rounded out. We're going to hot shot it. There we go. We're going to see how this one's looking. It's going to start developing right now. Yeah, that looks really good. All right, punchy up to the other side. Get this one rounded out. So far, we're at 250. We're going to burn this one off. We're going to pull off that little clear chunk and round it out, and this one will be done. This has a lot of blue to it. This looks good. There's a good big chunk of blue. Go ahead and get this rounded out. All right, I think we got it pretty round here. We just need to smooth it just a little bit more. And there we go. We are fantastic here. So we'll hot shot it over. So this one's going to look a little different. Oh, it didn't show. So it's going to cool off and show a little bit different swath on there. Not as dramatic as the other side. We're going to grab the tool. I got to let this cool for a second. If I put it on too soon, we end up possibly smushing the marble a little bit. There we go. Now it's good. And that's how you get it off the holding rod. Smooth it out. All right, let's see if we got a better... Oh, you can definitely see that blue. Now we got the blue going really intense. Like that. Look at that blue. Oh my God. I love that blue. Isn't that just the coolest baby blue? All right, I got 2 of these to go. And that took me a little longer than I expected. About 12 minutes, it looks like. All right, let's jam through these. I'm going to get these done. I have just enough blue to do the 2 of them, too. I didn't make as much blue as I thought, but I have 2 chunks of it, or enough for 2 more marbles. There we go. We're going to add the white and the cremains. Now, one thing you'll notice, I add a little white before I start picking up the cremains or the ashes. Ash. Why do I say ashes? So now we got a little white in there. So in this dish is the cremains right here. Oh, might actually show really good right there. You can see the cremains added onto the glass right there. So that's the cremains added in. We're going to blend them in. Bring it in really super nice. Give it an amazing blend. A little bit more. That first one picked up a lot. I don't need to do a third pass on this one. Okay, here we go. We're going to encase all this now. All right, that bug attacked my eyeball. That's it. These bugs are angry tonight. Oh, don't you dare crawl down my chest. Get out. Out, 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 out. All right, we're going to add the blue. That bug was trying to go down my chest. All right, now we're going to add in the blue. Man, this rod's angry right now. Okay, we're going to splinter. That's okay. We'll melt you back in. So the reason these rods splinter like that, I don't want all that blue on there, is because they never went through an annealing process. So I made the colored rods, but I didn't run them through the kiln. So they're doing a splintering process because they didn't temper properly. And that's what happens when the glass doesn't get tempered, is it will eventually fracture. Now we're going to add the sparkle blue. So even when you make color, you should kind of run your colored rods through a kiln if you want to try and use them later. They don't take long, though. You can make your colored rods, park them in the kiln for 10, 15 minutes, and bring them out and let them air cool. And they'll be fine. But I didn't do that because we were trying to jam through this. No, I don't want you on there. Get off, 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 off. I want that over there. Sound like I'm talking to Fritz. Off. Fritz is my dog, by the way. I wouldn't talk to anybody like that. What's up, Ken? Dan, I don't know what bug is attacking the hell out of me. All right, we're going to smoosh that in. We must be getting a wind, like a little rainstorm or something coming in. The wind is kicking up like crazy right now. I bet you I got a little rain coming. I thought it was going to rain today because last night it was humid, but never came. All right, we're going to button this up with some brown. We did some really cool marbles tonight, though. Oh my God, some of those designs were like so freaking cool. I like the eyeball one. The eyeball memorial kind of looks cool, even though it's not really an eyeball. All right, here we go. Park you way over here because I'm going to have to find you again. So right now we're getting this all melted in. We're going to flatten it to that UFO shape, and then we will turn it into the spiraled marble. This is, again, that 1-inch size. And there we go. We got that UFO shape going. Park it on the side with a 90-degree angle. Boom. Tap. There. Off it comes. Taper the flame down. Attach. Bring it out, stretch. Like that. We're going to go right into the hardcore twist right away. Normally I would show you, but we're going to get this just done right off. There we go. I'm going to twist it up. So this one I created a little more tight twist with it. We didn't do quite the loose spiral. Taper it down a little. I love that blue we did. Fritz is a giant schnauzer. So if you've never seen a giant schnauzer, they're pretty cool. They're just really protective. They're like super guard dogs. But he's a little on the smaller side for a giant schnauzer. He's only like 85 pounds. So he's not a giant schnauzer. My original giant schnauzer named Simba was 140 pounds. He was like a tank. Yeah, he was a frickin' tank. Yeah, Fritz is a giant schnauzer. All right, so we got this melting in. Got to change the view so you guys can see it going into the mold. There we go. Actually, this one came out cool. I didn't expect the spiral to look as cool on this. I mean, I knew it was going to look good, but this other end looks really good. I didn't expect that portion of it to look so good. I knew it wasn't going to suck, but that came out outstanding. Little punchy mark there. Burn this off. There we go. We're going to bring it out here. So we got that little ice cream cone shape. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Only the 70s and 80s people will know what I'm talking about. Maybe a little 90s. Remember those little bouncy balls that you had the handle on and you blow up the bouncy ball and you'd bounce on it as a kid? That's what that looks like. It really reminds me of that. Irish Wolfhound. Those are big dogs. They're cool looking though. I definitely. What's your guys' favorite dog? What do you guys like for dogs? What are your favorites? I was thinking about doing a few dog sculptures. I know I can do a dachshund. What dogs do you think you absolutely love that you would like to see made? I'm curious to see where we're at with dogs. I'm not so good at cats yet, but dogs. St. Bernard. Ooh, I hadn't thought about doing St. Bernard. They still sell the bouncy balls? Oh, that's freaking cool. Do they sell them for adults? Lab or German Shepherd. Cane Corso. I like Cane Corsos. Chihuahua. I actually like Chihuahuas. Wolves? Yeah, wolves are definitely cool. Pit bull? People give pit bulls a hard time, but I like pit bulls. I like pit bulls. I think they're cool. I really like the Cane Corso, though. Boxers and Akitas. Akita might be hard. Siberian Mastiff? Yep. Tibetan Mastiff, I mean. All right, here we go. I know it doesn't look it yet, but that is a cool spiral. We got that blue running through there. Pekingese. Pekingese would be hard. I mean, I'm not opposed to trying hard. Catahoula leopard? I've never heard of that. Greyhound would be fun. Cocker spaniel, chow chow. I know what chow chows are. Chow chows are really protective. Some friends that I grew up with back in the day, they had a chow chow. Man, that thing was protective. So were Akitas. Pomeranian? Oh man, Pomeranian would be hard. Yeah, Pomeranian would be hard to do. I'm not opposed to trying hard versions of stuff, but oh, look at that blue. Look at that blue. Is that blue just not freaking gorgeous? That looks like a soft glass blue. I'm glad we made that color. Oh, sorry. How about I get in front of the camera? Yeah, I definitely like that blue. It very much looks like soft glass. Akitas take to one person? Really? I thought Akitas were family type dogs. Blue Merrill. I like the Blue Merrills. I know what they are. I do make sea turtles, yes. Bull Mastiff. I had a Bull Mastiff. I ended up giving the Bull Mastiff to a friend because my giant Simba and the Bull Mastiff did not get along. And they went battle all the time. A bearded dragon would be fun. Yeah. I like greyhounds. I think greyhounds are cool as hell. My neighbor has one, and I pet it every time I can. A furry Frenchie. Yeah, I thought Akitas were more like family dog. Like Fritz is the total family dog. They're very protective, and they do like they have their person, but they love their families. Giant schnauzers are just super, super protective. As we're doing the brown here. Yeah, giants are super protective too. But I was thinking about doing maybe a dog run for a little bit and try making some different dogs. Now, I'm not going to do colors. I won't do them out of color because I don't like trying to get the colors. And the reason is people look and they go, well, that's not the color of my dog. Every breed has a certain color to it. And every dog has certain patterns to those colors. So I don't want to get into color. And I can make it actually look better if we do it out of clear. I can carve in the fur and stuff. But like a bull mastiff, do you want a brindle bull mastiff? Do you want the bull mastiff? We're out in the ash real quick, sorry. Or do you want the light brown bull mastiff? Oh no, that's an English mastiff. But yeah, bull mastiffs have different colors. So I'm not going to get into colors, but I can definitely make them out of clear. I know I can do a dachshund or wiener dog. Belgian Malinois. Yeah, I like Belgians. So a Belgian would be easier than the Shepherd, even though they're very, very close. But the Belgian has a lot less fur. like thicky fur. Did I say thicky? I did. Yeah, sea turtles. I love making sea turtles. I do a lot of different sea turtles. All right, we're going to add in that baby blue. A little corgi. Husky beagle. Now that's a mix that would be curious to see. Tell you what, I'll post on my community page dog requests. And if you guys want to submit a photo of your dog, you can do it on my community page under the comments. That blue is angry. That's okay though. We're at the last bit of it. This is the last marble too. I'm at the end of the blue. Wow. Yeah, I had a Belgian Malinois and Shepherd mix. Super smart. But man, trying to keep them entertained is hard. I think the Belgian part of him was constantly wanting attention and like, he was crazy. But like, he kept chewing my hot tub cover, like, you know, the covers for the hot tubs. He kept chewing them up. They're like $400 a piece. So I finally got a can of what was called dog off. Like they said, money back guarantee. Your dog will not do anything if you put the dog off on it. I literally sprayed the dog off on the hot tub cover, and no more than 5 minutes later, he's trouncing around the backyard with dog off in his mouth. So proud of it. I was like, well, I'm going to get my money back on that one. I mean, he literally put the dog off and started playing with it as a toy. I would have rather not got my money back instead of him chewing hot tub covers. All right, so we got this. We're going to flatten this out a little. But yeah, so I'll make a post on the community tab and tell me what kind of dogs you're looking for. We'll start trying to plan some out. We'll do some dog sculptures. I do have a glass blower that makes soft glass dogs, the heads. Oh my gosh, she's the best in the world. I mean, the best ever. So if you want like the exact color of your dog, she would be where I would send you. And her website is called Molten Mania. Molten Mania. Her name is Shell. Oh my God, she's the best. She can replicate your dog's face perfect. Oh, TikTok's making me do my thing again. Really? Twice in a night? Really? Oh my God, I nailed that. Don't even tell me my captcha wasn't good. There we go. Yeah, Molten Mania. So if you go to the website Molten Mania, you'll find the best glass blower that makes dog heads. She does more than dogs too. She can do parrots, she can do cats, any animal. And she does it out of soft glass, so she has more colors available. But man, she can nail your dog. Like perfect replication if you send her a photo. But that would be kind of fun, doing dogs, yeah. And then I'll have to figure cats out. I definitely have to figure out a cat, how to do the cats. I also thought about doing a camel. I don't know why I want to make a camel. What's up, DC? A camel might be kind of cool too. One hump or two? And then I know for Bayo, we got to do a blue hippo. We got to figure out the hippo first. But a hippo would be fun. And of course, I'm still on the axolotl kick. I got to figure out the axolotl. It's just the colors. The color of the axolotl is the only thing that I'm concerned about. Because they definitely have some cool colors. All right, we got some air pockets here we got to pop. There we go. Pop it. Bring that out. But yeah, an axolotl would be fun too. So my future project, we have I have this piece of coral. I'm gonna build a fish sculpture for this coral. I can't really. There it is. So we're gonna bring. I'm gonna build an entire sculpture for this piece of coral. We'll mount the fish in it. But that one's gonna take a little while. That'll be audience participation though. So that is going to be the audience participation piece. So we'll start like during the live streams. We'll probably do it over 3 of them. I'll take requests for doing certain fish or sea creatures. Like a sea turtle would be cool in there. So like either fish or seahorse, sea turtle. I think Groves had said sea anemone. So the corals, I have it sitting here, and we can start planning to do that one too. Probably do it over 3 streams though, like a mixture of 3 different streams. And we'll start building it up. We'll call it the community piece. All right, so we stretch this out. We're going to tighten it back up and turn it to the marble. See, we're twisting it back up. I started that project about a year ago with that piece of coral, and I got sidetracked. And we had made a manta ray and a crab. And I don't even know where the manta ray or the crab went. But we had made a really cool manta ray for it. And then I had to abandon the project because we got caught up with Christmas. That's what it was. It was like Christmas started consuming everything. All right, so we got this ooey gooey here. Sorry, I had the wrong camera view on. So we got ooey gooey going. Let's get this rounded out. We did some cool shapes tonight, though, and the eyeball one came out really good for the marble. We did some really cool patterns tonight. These are what the customer ordered, but they gave me permission to go hog wild on it and make some really cool stuff. So we did that. But I can't make every single one of them like custom crazy. But I have done the Labradors before for the dogs. That was one of my most expensive pieces, actually. I did five Labradors in a scene. So the customer gave me a photo, and they had 5 labs, and each one had a different color collar. And they wanted the photo replicated in 3D in glass. So I had to go in and replicate the photo, which means every dog had a certain pose to it. That was the hard part. So I would have to make the lab, and then I'd have to move a leg, reheat it, move a leg, move a head tilt. That took a long time. It was one of my most expensive pieces I've ever done. But the labs were like 5 inches tall, 7 inches big. I mean, they were big. And I probably spent 3 or 4 months making that off and on. But when I got done, it was a very cool piece. They actually moved a bunch of, what was the crystal called? Lalique or something like that. They had a bunch of really expensive crystal pieces, and they moved that off their mantle and put the dogs up there. I felt pretty honored. I think it was called Lalique. All right, let's get this rounded out. This is the last marble for that order too, so we're good. This has been a fun night though. I've enjoyed talking with all of you. It's been a, did you guys see the kamikaze bug? Oh, that stinks too. Yeah. He incinerated and that smelled awful. All right, well, this marble is just about done. I'm going to bring it over and show it to you. I didn't spend that much time going back and forth on it because you guys have seen like 100 of these being done over time, but we got the beautiful spiral in here. So those little air bubbles are part of that shimmer color. I don't know why it does that. And then you're going to see the blue back here evolve. But yeah, very, very pretty marble color. We're going to go ahead and pull it off its punty. By the time I get it off the punty and smooth it out, the colors will pop out. So I'm going to leave it on side view for the moment. Yeah, that blue's coming out now. Look at that blue. And there's another version of it. It's dark right there, but it looks very much like a soft glass blue. Let's see if I can flip it around. Yeah, it definitely has that soft glass look to it. That's just freaking gorgeous. I really like this batch of marbles. Love the shades. Yeah, these are my normal glass blowing glasses. All right, I think that calls it for a night for me. That was 3.5 hours of streaming non-stop. You guys are worth it though. So I'm going to call it for tonight. I will see you all tomorrow. We're going to do Red Squeak's flower, Dragonfly's tool review, and Jenny's pens. So definitely tune in for tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing stream. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. So don't forget to tune in. I will see you all later.